Dustin, Eric, now you're talking with Dave McCabe. Let's go. We are clearly 6 feet apart.
Yep.
Eric is an improviser, a working actor, and has spent time as a skit house manager.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin brings a photographer's eye to his scene work and has a commanding presence when performing his craft. I am meeting up with Dustin during a break in his filming of his new series. Dustin, how's the filming going?
Good. We had a little hiccup today. We had to take a little bit of a break, but I'm sure we'll be picking it up. But we started off really well, had a lot of great moments, and some scenes that we thought weren't going to be as good as they turned out. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the finished product of it.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot about it. I can't wait to see the finished product. Can you tell me just a little bit about how your journey in the performance arts started?
Well, I always wanted to get into acting. It was something that was always in the back of my mind, but I was never able to really pursue. I didn't really have too much encouragement on that aspect growing up. It was kind of like I would mention it, and my family and friends would just be like, "Oh, yeah, acting."
Sure.
Yeah. And then as far as school went, there wasn't really much to go as far as like acting classes and stuff like that. And the ones that they did have available, it was like small crowds with a couple people that were people that were considered nerds or whatever. And then I was already getting picked on at that point, so I didn't want to like draw more attention to myself.
I got you.
But I guess what really changed for me was Pittsburgh Zombie Fest.
Nice.
So that was kind of a turning point that kind of made me want to go into more performing wise. Me and a friend of mine at the time, we decided to go in full character as zombies, and then once we got there, we just acted out the entire time, and we didn't, we weren't like socializing with people. We were socializing as zombies. We were, finding people that were taking pictures and interested of stuff, and then we chased them around as zombies and just, kind of moan. And then I started getting into that every year, and I volunteered to help them and just got more in depth with my costumes.
Nice.
Eventually, one of my friends started doing short films and music videos, and because I got more comfortable performing in like I guess an improv situation,
Right.
that I kind of wanted to do that. I was more motivated to do that, so I helped my friend for a bit, and we did multiple music videos, multiple short films and stuff like that, and eventually started seeing posts for like extra work for films that were like Sony Pictures and random
Nice.
big name companies that were filming in Pittsburgh area. So I just applied for that, and then I started doing background extra work from there, and just kind of snowball effect from there.
That's fantastic. And this zombie is like, there's no zombie season, right? You could be a zombie even past Halloween.
Yeah, pretty much, especially when you're in Pittsburgh, because
Tom Savini and the
yeah,
gang.
it's
I got you.
zombie capital of the world. So
That's weird. I don't see any flags or anything. But
Yeah.
I absolutely believe you. So, when were you first introduced to improv, and can you tell me a little bit about the start of that experience?
Well, I actually started doing improv. Well, I was actually introduced to it from Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Of course,
but
yeah. Many people.
Yeah,
are,
I feel like that's a very common thing. But I started getting into improv when I started doing acting for extra work.
Okay.
I was on the set of the Mr. Rogers film. I forget.
Oh yeah,
I
Beautiful Day in the
Yeah,
Neighborhood.
yeah. They changed the name a couple times in production.
Sure.
I forgot what it was called, but I was on the set for that, and we were kind of like taking a break in between cuts, and I was talking to one of the other extras there, and he had mentioned Steel City Improv Theater,
Right.
and was saying that improv is something that actually like helps actors pursue their career, and like kind of gives them the edge, because directors tend to look for people with improv experience over people who don't, if they can both do the same role,
Right. I found that. As I've been interviewing actors and I
Mhm.
interview improvisers, I can tell who's been an improviser.
Right, yeah,
Absolutely.
it makes a huge difference. So the gentleman I talked with, he said I'd recommend at least doing like 1 or 2 courses at Steel City, and I did the first one, and then it just never stopped from there.
Wow. Can you tell us about those first improv classes? Like, how did it make you feel? Like, you're going in there as an actor.
Yeah.
Like, how did that go?
Well, it made me extremely nervous. I am someone that has high anxiety to begin with, like just over general trivial things that I
Sure.
shouldn't, you know. And at this point in my life, I was already kind of adjusted and comfortable with acting in front of film. You know, at that point, it's just like, okay, you mess up, take two.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
mess
sure,
up,
yeah.
take three. Not a big deal. But at this point, it's like I'm moving into live performance,
Right.
and I'm doing this alone and not knowing any people in my class and stuff like that, and it's just starting a whole new chapter. And I mean, I was super nervous my first day. I didn't really know what to expect, because I didn't even take like the sample classes ahead of time. I just
Jumped
right into it.
Yeah, me too.
And then it just ended up being something that I really enjoyed as we progressed through the classes, and it was just, I don't know, a completely different experience than acting in front of the camera.
Yeah, there's two lessons that I like to learn from that. Is number one, having your scene partners back, and number two is making them look like a genius.
Yeah, absolutely.
And guess what? That's their job too. So that actually made me feel a little less alone out there. And it's like, and if I stumble, somebody's there to pick me up. And that's what I think I really appreciate about that improv experience.
Yeah, and I took some classes, like acting classes beforehand with Nancy Mosser Casting.
Oh, okay,
and,
yeah.
Like, those acting classes compared to improv classes, it's a completely different world, and it's a fun journey, like mixing them together and like seeing what I can create with it.
Yeah, that's great. Is there an improv moment or a show, like a moment you just killed it, or a moment that you watched that they killed it, as we all support each other?
Well, as far as moments that I watched, there's so many that I can think of. I mean, especially after I started working there, and you know, just popping in and seeing, you know, random bits from shows. I mean, I could think of like so many musical improv moments that are just hilarious.
My favorite.
Yeah, like I don't know, like musical improv's still something that is on the back of my head that I might want to consider, but I've never been very musical myself.
You don't have
But
to.
yeah.
Do it. Just do it.
It is something that I'm interested in, and I do love seeing the shows more than anything, I feel.
Yeah, I find it so liberating, and honestly, it's about being patient. So I think you'd be great. It is the best time I have doing improv.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. But as far as shows that I've been in that really stick out in my head, the first one for sure.
I was gonna say it's always that first show.
Because like I said, I get high anxiety to begin with.
Sure.
So I was actually a little bit late getting there for you know, we do like the preparation a half hour ahead of time before the show starts, and I was probably about 10-15 minutes late to that because I was so nervous leaving my house that I actually threw up 3 times.
Oh, jeez.
And
it's an Eminem song, isn't it?
Yes.
That's
so, you know, the first show I threw up like 3 times before I left the house, and then my second show, it was only twice.
Okay, good.
And then after that, I just always got the butterflies, but never threw
throwing
up again. Yeah.
So did you start eating food that like you knew you'd like again?
Yeah.
Okay. I planned my dinner over show nights.
Right. Yeah.
So, how has improv impacted your acting performances? What specific improv skills do you apply to your acting, and conversely, how does it go back and forth?
I think improv has affected my acting a lot because it teaches me how to support my partner.
Excellent, yeah.
And like, as far as acting classes go, a lot of that isn't really emphasized too much on supporting your partner. It's more on like, you know, doing your line work and actual self-performance.
I see.
Whereas improv is building up your partner, and everything else will come from there.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's kind of neat implementing that into acting, because I feel there's definitely been some short films and stuff like that where I've just kind of done short improv, whether it's gestures or comments or something like that,
Right.
and it's really helped my partner in that aspect.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool that I can implement that both ways.
What about improv brings you the most joy, would you say?
I have to say probably back to that creative outlet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like acting, but without the script. So like acting, I always know what's coming.
Yeah.
I do that role. I know how it's going to be ahead of time because I'm sort of preparing for it.
Sure.
But improv, it's the excitement and the spontaneity. I love going on stage, following someone on stage, knowing like they might have an idea or they might not.
Right.
And then you just go on there and work with it, and you can create some of the best characters and some of the best moments,
and you never know they're coming.
Yeah. and the best part is like you're never going to see that scene again.
Yeah, that's my favorite part of improv.
Mm-hmm.
It is a moment in time.
Yep.
Enjoy it, and let's go grab a snack
all
after.
one unique scene from another.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great guy. Thanks so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing that new series.
Yeah.
I loved being in the park. Fresh air, great conversation. Thanks, Dustin. And now a word from our sponsor.